there, welcome back and thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to share a card I made using two new releases from Maker Forte. Maker Forte has a brand new designer that they are collaborating with. Her name is Mansi from Mansi Makes. If you're not too familiar with her, she is a very talented mixed media artist. And if you haven't yet, I highly recommend you head on over to her Instagram to check her out. You won't be disappointed. She does some pretty awesome stuff. I'll leave the link down below if you want to go check her out. Now, the two stencils that I'm going to be using that are designed by her, one is called Swirl Art Marks, which is a really cool, really fun spiral stencil, and the other one is Dots and Dips Art Marks, which is filled with circles and dots of all different shapes and sizes. I'm going to be pairing the two stencils today with some marshmallow paste from Maker Forte, as well as 3 different Distress Oxide inks. Now to start, I grabbed a piece of cardstock cut down to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, which is just a 1/4 inch shorter than my A2 card base. I added a little bit of spray adhesive to the back of the spiral stencil so that the pieces, because it is a spiral, all stayed in place and they didn't move around while I was doing some ink blending. Just for a little added reassurance, I added 2 pieces of Post-it tape on the back of it just to try and hold the stencil in place a little bit more. Now, when I was doing the ink blending, some of the spiral did just move slightly, so I just held down the pieces with my fingers. No big deal, it didn't really move around that much. So the 3 colors that I went in with, I first used Wild Honey. The second color I used is Salvaged Patina, and the third color is Crackling Campfire. Now these 3 colors, they blend beautifully together. This was the first time I had used any of them, let alone the 3 of them together. So I was really pleasantly surprised with how beautifully they blended together as a trio. Now the Crackling Campfire, I realized, is a very saturated, very bold color. So I went a little bit with just very lightly, but then I went a little bit darker. So I added more to my brush, but I did tap a bit of it off first on a bit of white copy paper that I had beside me, just so it wasn't so full on in your face when I added it to my stencil compared to the other colors. So now with the Salvaged Patina as well, because I was blending next to the Crackling Campfire, the orange, I did get a little bit of on my brush, so I did just tap that off on the white paper as well before I went back to my ink pad, because I didn't want to transfer any of the orange Crackling Campfire ink to my Salvaged Patina ink pad. But it was all good. I got it all off. So I just kept blending my 3 ink colors together until I had a nice blend, a nice amount of coverage with the 3 colors. And then I just removed the stencil from my card base. I left the 2 pieces of Post-it tape on the back of the cardstock just to help hold the second stencil in place. So then I went in with the Dots and Dips Art Mark stencil over top, and I used my marshmallow paste for this part. Now the marshmallow paste is really, really creamy consistency. This paste is a dream to work with. And unlike other texture paste, embossing paste, you do not need a whole lot of this paste. A little bit of it goes a long way. I'm going to say you probably only need a quarter of what you would normally use with other pastes for this. So I just kept on going back into it with my palette knife, taking a little bit out at a time and just spreading it out onto my stencil until I was happy with the coverage that I had. Now I find the way this marshmallow paste works, you don't have to worry if it is completely even coverage, because it's not really going to matter in the end. Now with this paste as well, you don't have to wait an hour or an hour or 2 in between before you can use it to let it dry, because it is a heat activated expanding paste. The heat from your heat gun or your embossing gun is what will help it to dry. So I turned on my heat gun, heated up just a little bit before it, and I did zoom in so I can try and show you how well this expands and how it works with the heat. Now you don't need to heat it up too long. The longer that you heat it, actually, the more it will expand and fluff up. So it all depends on how much dimension you want from this paste. You can heat it up much longer and you will be really, really surprised at how much this expands and it fluffs up. It's pretty awesome stuff. But for my card today, I didn't want too much dimension or too much fluff from it. So I didn't use my heat gun on it too long, just till I was happy and just till I had a little bit of dimension with it. So once I was done with it, I took my finger around the edge of it just to kind of clean up any of the fluff that was sticking off the edge of it to have a nice clean edge. And as you can see, it's pretty awesome, pretty fun stuff this paste is. Lots of dimension, lots of fluff, lots of marshmallow goodness there that you get with this paste. And it does actually just harden up a little bit, I find, with a little bit of time, which is great as well. If you do get a little bit too much dimension from it, you can just take your finger and wipe it off until you have the desired amount that you would like. So now for my sentiment, I went in with my Just Because simple sayings. And these are great. You get a nice variety of just because sayings. For example, taking the time to say, I thought of you today, no special reason, I just want to say hi to you. Never too busy to think of you. And you get both a black and a white version of each sentiment, which is great, as well as a full sheet of toner covered cardstock so you can foil it to your little heart's content. So I chose for my card today the Sending You Good Vibes from an Appropriate Social Distance for my card. I thought the sentiment went really well with my card. So I grabbed my card base, a little bit of foam tape, and added foam tape to both the back of my ink blended panel and my sentiment, added it to my card base, and that was it for today. I did not need any more of this. I normally add sequins and bling to every single card I make. This one obviously did not need any more of it because I don't think the bling really goes well with the look of it or the mixed media. But that is it. I love how this card turned out. I had so much fun working with this, with the paste and with these two new stencils. Super fun. Head on over to Mansi's profile on Instagram to check it out. Head on over to the Maker Forte website to check out these and all the rest of the new products they have, and have fun. I hope you have enjoyed my card today as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I would love it if you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and let me know what you think. Have a good day. Bye.